Hello and welcome back. I've come over to Smalls to meet the owner, David Jacobson, legendary nightlife entrepreneur in Bangkok. We're at the fabulous Smalls and you are watching Trends. David, thanks for inviting us over here today.
Thank you.
You've had an amazing journey. Can you share with us that journey of coming to Bangkok?
It's sort of a long journey. I was working as a photographer in California, primarily commercial advertising, celebrity photographer. But I got an unusual assignment for me to photograph healthcare for children for the World Health Organization in Vietnam, Cambodia. That brought me to Vietnam in 1990 in Cambodia. I looked at Vietnam and I said, ground zero. I went back a year later. Things had changed. Business was coming in. The Russians left. They allowed Vietnamese to have their own businesses. I said, what an opportunity. My girlfriend in LA was Vietnamese. I convinced her to come back to Vietnam, and we opened the first bar, Q Bar, in Saigon. That bar was amazingly successful. I mean, that was Celebrity Central. Robert De Niro, Kate Moss, John Kennedy Jr. You know,
everyone was there.
Everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, it was. If you were coming to Saigon, you had to hang out in that bar. This caught the attention of the government. They were not overwhelmed. So, to make a long story, to shorten it a bit, they tried to prove I was CIA. They couldn't because I'm not. And they just got fed up with, they thought I was too clean. So they thought maybe he was washed by the CIA because they couldn't find a parking ticket on me. So they would not renew my visa and they would not give me a reason.
Oh my goodness.
So I came to Thailand thinking, they just want money, I'll go back. I tried for 5 months, couldn't get it. Then I realized I got to start over. So I looked at the nightclubs here in Bangkok and actually I wasn't overly impressed. So I decided, nightclub. So I opened Q Bar on Sukhumvit Soi 11, which was the first real place on Soi 11. And that became, you know, the most popular nightclub for almost more than a decade. It was the first nightclub to bring in international DJs from around the world. It was the first nightclub to play hip hop, brought in Jazzy Jeff and DJ Premier and Ice-T and everybody. And it was a roaring success, and that whole street developed around us, including Bed Supper Club, which was an excellent nightclub as well. So I had that for many, many, many years. And then my landlady sold the building, and my new landlord decided to raise the rent 550%.
Oh my gosh.
So that I knew that was the end. And quite frankly, I was ready to get out of that because I've always preferred bars to nightclubs. Nightclubs are about making money, bars are about your soul. So I decided with a partner named Bruno Tacarel to open a bar that we'd like to hang out in. And that's how Smalls came about. And that's been 10 years now.
Really? Been here 10 years?
It'll be 10 years in April.
What are some of the highlight evenings and performance that you've had here?
Okay. So we are primarily a full-service bar with food, but we push live music 4 nights a week. Every Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, live music. Sometimes Sunday, sometimes Monday, but always Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We are primarily a jazz club, and primarily a progressive jazz club.
Why?
Because there are tons of venues of jazz clubs here. I can give you 30 that can play very easy listening jazz, so I call like hotel lobby jazz.
Yes.
So, you know, they'll have a vocal singer singing, Willow, Weep for Me, the girl from Ipanema. I've always liked Avant Garde jazz. Thailand is a unique place. There are so many incredibly talented young jazz musicians here. I think it's partly because the last king was so into jazz, that the jazz courses at the universities here are fantastic. And the young talent coming out in Thailand is remarkable. I have jazz musicians from other countries that are, you know, pretty big names come play here. They have to play with local guys here. They're always shocked at how good these guys are.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah. So we really push progressive jazz.
Right.
And most of them are Thai. We do have some nights where we have non-jazz nights. We have one band that only plays Rolling Stones, Midnight Ramblers. We have another band that's like an old-fashioned swing band, with a guy with a ukulele and a harmonica. We have another band that only plays surf rock, like Tarantino music.
Wow, that's a really eclectic mix.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we even have classical music here once in a while. Pro Musica, which is a Thai classical group of primarily string instruments.
Brilliant.
We put them on the rooftop, and it's fabulous. And so, as I said, we really prefer to separate ourselves from other jazz clubs as not necessarily easy listening jazz. We're like serious jazz. So as an international jazz club, we have a lot of credibility because it's not just another, female male vocalist singing, Route 66.
So you must have some very dedicated followers, some fans that come back and back on a weekly basis if you're putting out that type of music.
We have that hardcore group of jazz, people that really enjoy jazz, that reserve their tables in advance here. We do have a door charge for them to come in. So they have to really want to come, and they do. So we do quite well. We usually fill it up. Like for tonight, for example, we have a saxophonist from Denmark who's a Grammy Award-winning saxophone player with his wife, who's from Cameroon originally. She's a singer, and she's amazing. And that's going to be tonight, an absolutely fantastic show. But sometimes we'll go for more experimental jazz, or more experimental groups. We have Jean Cassadet from called Blondism. She's part of Futan. People might remember Futan.
Yes.
We have Stylish Nonsense, which is a Thai group that is very experimental. Sometimes they play in dresses. The guys with beards. They're great. They're fabulous. So, yeah, we like to be more on the fringe if we can be.
So can some customers come here and just have a drink and not imbibe in this avant-garde jazz?
Absolutely. So we're lucky here. We have many different rooms. We have 2 rooms downstairs.
Yeah, we're downstairs at the moment.
Right.
Yeah.
We have another room on the 2nd floor with a small balcony, and we got quite a large size rooftop bar.
So where's the live jazz performed then?
Right there.
Okay, so here, where I see the band drum set.
You see here, and you see that room, and you see this room.
Yep.
If you don't want to pay an entrance, and you want to come here, or you don't like live music, you can go to the 2nd or 3rd floor for free.
Oh, great. And just enjoy the
we have
drink.
a playlist that we play.
Yeah. Are there snacks available?
So we have food here till 1:30 in the morning.
Is that snack food, or could I have a dinner here?
It's up to you. I mean, we change it frequently, but recently we've been featuring banh mi sandwiches. My wife is Vietnamese. So we have the best banh mi sandwich in Bangkok. But we change it all the time. We have pizza delivered here from Gallery Pizza.
Wow.
Very good. We have a deal with them.
Yeah.
But we also have like quesadillas and burgers and some Thai food. My partner's French. We have some French food. Like 20 items on the menu. But it's very good. Yeah. And you can eat late. You can eat, the kitchen's open to 1:30. Okay, another thing about bars.
Yeah.
Bars happening. Are you running?
Yeah, we are.
Okay.
Because there's so many bars.
There are so many new bars, especially since COVID.
Can you make a profitable business, given that Bangkok is saturated with bars at night?
So, since COVID, strangely enough, so many new bars have opened. I mean, every week there are 3 or 4 new bars opening. The difference between when I first came here and now, in the old days, bars and nightclubs outside of RCA for the most part were run by foreigners. Foreigners went to places owned by foreigners, whether it was like Bed Supper Club, Q Bar, whatever, Glow, and all these places that were around at that time. Most Thais didn't want to be bar owners or bartenders or even DJs. That was like not really a career. That has totally changed. That has totally changed. All the best bars now are owned by Thais.
Wow.
Yeah. Almost all.
Has that put pressure on your business? The fact
the Thais are very into having plush bars. So they're very into like cocktails, bartending. So they very much into this whole song and dance that's about. So to me, a large part of that is image of the bartender. So you have to have a bartender with tattoos, a beard, a great apron, a great hat. There's a look. cocktails have to be overproduced with tons of flowers and garnishing. What they taste like, forget about it. In Thailand, they tend to be very, very sweet in general. We believe here in, first of all, stronger drinks. The other trend here is very weak drinks, 30 centiliter pours, and that's just too small. Our whole philosophy in drinks has always been strong drinks and classics. My head barman, Danny, redoes the classics better than anybody in the city. All the major barmen know him. You know, all the award-winning bars know him. We were Asia's 50 best twice, Asia's 100 best 4 times.
I saw that. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But we'll never be that again because we don't concentrate on the apron and the beer. We think a bar is more than 1 square meter. We think the bar is the atmosphere, the music, the drinks, the food, the bathrooms, the different places to go in the bar, conversation. We designed the bar purposely for people to meet people. We keep it dark so people aren't doing selfies all night. You know? We want it to be a conversation bar, and we attract people that are into conversation. So we get a very mixed crowd, Thai and foreign. You know, that's one reason I moved actually quite far away from Soy 11, because in many of those services, it'll be primarily foreign guys and not that many Thai men. Here, we get a very good mix because they feel safe here. The other trend, of course, is the way bars look. So bars copy each other. So the look now is you have to have a pink, red, or white neon sign with a cute saying, right?
Yes.
Or if it's a foreign-owned place, it has to have a picture of an Asian girl with big red lips. We don't. I mean, the lack of originality always drives us nuts. So we love art here. So if you look around my bar, you'll see like 35 pieces of art that are done by artists that live and work in Thailand. Some are Thai, some are foreigner, but they're all produced in Thailand. And we change it when we can afford to change it. We can get something new. Luckily, my partner Bruno is an artist, so he's painting new things all the time. He's wonderful. So we believe art bar, jazz bar, not selfie, hipster bar. So it's a little bit different in that respect. And because of that, no place looks like this bar.
It is truly unique.
So that gives it legs. We don't have to change. When the trends change, we don't change.
But my only question about that is, with success, do you feel you could outgrow the size of this 3-story premises?
This is big enough. I mean, we can hold 100 people. That's enough.
That's a lot.
I mean, originally we just had that room before we got this room, and it was much smaller upstairs and downstairs. To fill up 100 every night, that's enough of a challenge.
Yes.
So we're happy with the size. I wouldn't want to make it bigger. I wouldn't want to. It's not a nightclub. It's a bar.
Yeah.
When I decided to close Q Bar because of this increase in rent, one of the guys who'd done a lot of design work for me at my Q Bar.
But hold on, David. Q Bar was totally different to this.
Except for the last couple of years, I had a room in the back called La Derrière, which was 1930s French, with original 1930s French furniture.
Oh my goodness.
A real zinc-top bar from Paris, wooden walls from Paris, everything that came from France.
Yep.
The new owners, when they bought it, didn't like it, and they tore it down. It was gorgeous. So there is some connection. The guy who did that room for me had this space, just that room. Didn't have the upstairs, didn't have this room we're sitting in now. They had a restaurant here with some French partners. It didn't work out very well. The French partners left. He called me up and said, have the building, have the lease, we should do something here.
Right.
And so I've always liked that French sensibility, and of course he's French. So the bistro tables and the red velvet and the zinc top bars, that's what we decided. We definitely want that French look, but with modern art, not period art. So I like that combination of like the old French look with modern art.
Yes.
So, and jazz.
So was it your design and your vision, or did you bring in an outside interior designer?
Bruno and I designed it ourselves. Wow. Mainly, I will say Bruno did more design than I did, because he's very good at spatial relations. We can punch a hole here, we can run the plumbing here, but we actually furnish it by going to flea markets all over Bangkok and outside of Bangkok to find the pieces. And we would go, think this looks good in the bar? Yeah, that'll look good in the bar. Let's buy that. We'll figure out where to put it later. And that's sort of how the bar came together, with all the stuff that we have in the bar. And but without Bruno, I probably couldn't have done it. He's very, very good at this. But we decided together, and we're very, very like-minded. I mean, that's why we worked well at Q Bar, and that's why on design here we work so well together.
Why do you love Bangkok?
For many reasons. Bangkok, to me, is the center of Southeast Asia to start with. I like hot weather, so that's good. Also, Bangkok is one of the great foodie cities in the world. You know, I mean, New York, I'm from New York. New York's great. But when I go to Europe, when I go to Greece, you primarily get Greek food. You go to Portugal, it's primarily Portuguese food. You go to Italy, it's primarily Italian food. In Bangkok, it's everybody's food. You want Ethiopian food, you want, you know, Korean food, you want anything, Bhutanese food, you know, Indian food, everything's here, and a lot of it. So the food scene is amazing. And I like the fact that it's so close to so many other countries that it makes traveling short trips, weekend trips.
Exactly.
You know, Vietnam, Cambodia, Laos, Indonesia, wherever.
A great aviation hub.
Great. Yeah.
Food.
And the people. I mean, the people here are kind. You know, I lived in other countries where people were not as kind. And I find the people in Thailand, the ones that are indifferent to you. That's not bad, but there's so much kindness here. If my wife's car breaks down, Thai people will come and say, "Let us help you push it to a gas station." You know, I mean, that kind of kindness. So I find it very easy to live here.
Now, if somebody's watching this video and they think, I want to open a bar in Bangkok, what would your advice be to them?
Well, I mean, it looks very inviting.
Yeah.
It's a lot of hard work, harder than you think. You're going to come up against totally different problems than you would probably opening a bar in the West. There'll be some advantages. The cost of building your bar, cost of labor, and those kinds of things will be an advantage. But anything imported costs more than it would at home. Food or whatever, or anything you bring in that's imported will cost more. Liquor will cost more, wine will cost more. Rents are all over the place, so you can find good bargains, but many places have gotten very expensive now. And then there's also the constant gray laws of bar hours.
But here you close at 1.
We close at 2.
Oh, 2, sorry. And I think that's enough, basically. If you open later, surely it dilutes, people come and go.
When we first opened on this street, they didn't know what to do with us. So, because we were the first place on the street. So they just let us stay open. So we were open late, but very late.
Wow.
We used to get a crowd at 3:30. Big crowd.
I'm tucked up in bed by 11.
Those days are over. They finally clamped down on us and they wouldn't let us do that anymore. I think 4 o'clock is a little bit late, actually. I found at that time a lot of people have been drinking too long, and they're either drunk or they're drinking water. You know, can I get a bottle of water? And 3 o'clock would be perfect, and I think they should let the whole city open at 3. And that way, there'll be no arguments about who can stay open late. The crowd won't have to get in a cab and go somewhere else because they're open another hour or 2 hours later. You know, so if the whole city was 3 o'clock, I think it would work much better.
That's a great wish as we head into 2024 and the new year. Do you have one other wish for this year?
Well, good health for myself. I'm getting old.
Yep.
I mean, at my age, you think I'm the oldest guy in this business.
Really?
Well, I don't know anybody my age that runs a bar. I'm 70. I'll be 77 at the end of this month. So, I mean, that's old.
That's unusual for a man of your maturity to be running a bar.
Well, it's not going to be too much longer.
Yeah.
I actually hope to do a lot more traveling soon.
Okay.
Yeah. But so I've been doing this for over 30 years, so slowing down now. But so I hope for good health, and I hope for I hope for the best for Thailand. So we'll see what happens in Thailand. But I hope that there's prosperity for Thailand, and the Thai people have a great future.
David, the legend of Bangkok nightlife, and previously Vietnam.
I would say living legend.
Yeah, living legend, living legend, near legendary. Thank you so much for welcoming us over to Smalls.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for coming to interview me.
And I hope you're still watching, because you need to come over and enjoy it in the evening at Smalls. And finally, thank you for watching Trends, and see you next Friday.